We are at the University of Jammu and we are now being joined by the Honorable Prime Minister of the Tibetan government in exile. Sir, many thanks for speaking to India today. Sir, in the recent past, we have seen that how China has been once again provoking India, and it has tried to occupy one of the posts in Tawang sector. How do you see the situation along the line of actual control, and how should India deal with a belligerent China?
It's very unfortunate that China is being belligerent against India in an unprovoked way. Because India has never provoked this kind of response from them. India has always been a peaceful country, never for offense, but only for defense. So China's action on the border reflects their insecurity, because they are very insecure right now. Apart whatever the rest of the world thinks, I feel China is very, very insecure. So because of that, they are creating these hotspots like Ladakh or Tawang with India or South China Sea or Taiwan. If there is a threat to the survival of the Communist Party, then they will attack one of these places to invoke nationalism inside China too. Now, response from Indian side, I think, has been very strong. It's not India of 1962, it's not even India of 1980s or 90s. Now India is a strong country, both militarily, economically and politically, and it has alliance with the right countries. So I think right now India's position is very strong, and that is how it should be.
Your Excellency, do you feel that an expansionist China could escalate the matters along the line of actual control now?
Now they will have to gauge for themselves, because they must have expected something else, but the response from
They got a befitting reply from the Indian soldiers.
Yes. So they will have to rethink, because it cannot go on like this. But if Chinese attack you and you always take it, don't fight back, then they will always try to overpower you or treat you as unequal.
I will again come back to this question. How should India deal with an expansionist China? What should be India's policy and what should be India's response now?
I have always been saying, if there can be change in China, it has to be economic issue. So only economics can bring Communist Party down. Right now, people are talking about from 14, 12, 9, 8 GDP growth. Now people are talking about 3.9, 2.9, 3%. So when the GDP goes down by that much, your production is also going down, your export is also going down. We are already talking about 20% unemployed Chinese youth. And if unemployment increases, also because of the zero COVID policy, now, of course, they have done away with it without phasing it out, So these are going to create a lot of complications for the Chinese leadership when there are too much unemployment, which will also lead to social unrest.
So you feel that there is trade imbalance as far as India and China economic ties are concerned?
You know better than that.
So who should hurt the Chinese while it hurts them the most?
Yeah, that is trade.
Okay. Sir, one more thing. You talked about many issues in your speech here at the auditorium. You said that, now there is more awareness about the issue of, Tibet in the international community. But still, you also raised concern that still there is not enough support base. There are many European countries who have signed extradition treaty with China. So you have expressed concern. So how should now international community help the cause of Tibet?
The international community is also waking up to the realities that China is not what they thought China would be, or China is not being responsible, becoming part of the global community. So now they are also learning that they have to make sure that China does not become stronger than what it is today.
Right. My last question to you, Your Excellency. Do you think that India should now have a relook as far as policy towards Tibet is concerned?
I think India has already been relooking at the policy. So this has been going on for the last 3 years. So India is definitely, I'm sure India is definitely...
What are you seeking now? Are you seeking autonomy or total independence from the Chinese rule?
Aside from all the troubles that comes in between, but in the long term, China will have to change. There's no other way. As Buddhists also, we believe in impermanence. Western psychologists also say that change is the only constant. So China will have to change. There is no other way. So we'll have to wait for the right moment.
Your Excellency, many thanks. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, thank you.
So that was Penpa Sering, Honorable Prime Minister of the Tibetan government in exile. This is Sunil Bhatt reporting from Jammu for India Today.